Hey guys, Cameron here, and I finally made the choice to do this video, and it's a video I never wanted to do. You guys always see videos of people on YouTube and Facebook and stuff always talking about their struggle through depression and suicidal thoughts and all this stuff, and it's always tough for the person to do it, and you can see it. And I've talked a few times in a few different videos about how I went through it and how I might do a video about it eventually, and I figured if I do one, then maybe it'll help me stop thinking about stuff like that from time to time. So, here we go. My struggle through depression started when I was in about 8th grade. If you guys don't know, actually you guys probably do know this from the starting vlogs I used to post down in Florida. My dad lives down there. He moved down there about the summer between 7th and 8th grade. And if you guys, I don't really talk about this a lot with a lot of people because I don't like people knowing, but I've suffered from panic attacks since I was really young. And at about that time they started coming back. I started thinking my dad hated me and the reason he left was because of me, even though I kind of deep down knew there was many reasons that weren't me for why he left. And it kind of culminated at my friend's house. I had a panic attack and freaked out, and it was the first time I've had one in front of anybody besides my family. And I talked to them about what was going on, and I had my best friend throughout it, and he talked me out of wanting to hurt myself that night. He talked me out of wanting to leave and go cut, and I talked to him about what happened and how difficult it had been for me and everything that was going on. Outside of my family, he was the first person to find out about my depression. Actually, he was the first person to find out about it. No one in my family actually knew. I was too scared to tell anyone for them because I was scared they were going to look at me differently. And so yeah, it was pretty much my friend Bobby and my friend Devin who were helping me through it for a few weeks. And then a friend of mine named Taffy, and God, she was an awesome friend. She found out about it a few weeks later because I was freaking out in the room. I was having another panic attack, and Bob and Devin were talking to her over the phone about it and what was going on, and she gave me a little pep talk and made me smile. And another thing that was kind of leading to my depression was the fact that I was so alone. I had my friends, but I had no one inside my family who I could really trust with this, and I had no girlfriend at the time who I could talk to about this when I felt down, and it was so difficult for me. And Taffy was there for me for so long, and I kind of screwed myself with this one. I've talked a lot about how I've been cheated on and hurt in the past and used, and Taffy was kind of the first girl who actually showed me the slightest bit of attention and actually made me feel happy. She kind of made me remember exactly why I was happy before, and she showed me that people actually do care and I could actually find someone like her. She was dating my friend Garrett, and I kind of started crushing on her, and she found out about it, and she knew, and she told me multiple times that she didn't want anything like that with me. She just wanted to be friends. And the thing is, though, she always threw me a signal, like it was like, hey, I actually want to be with you and stuff like that. And it's probably just my stupid head thinking, well, not thinking straight. And yeah, I just didn't get over her, and it got too difficult for me. And Bobby and Devin called her up one day from my house, and she had no idea I was there, and they asked her what was going on, and said that she needs to stop leading me on, and she said nothing's ever going to happen. And then, yeah, and it really struck me hard. And after that, it was multiple other girls that I started falling for, and same thing happened. Got rejected over and over again. and it just made me feel worse and worse. But through it all, I still had Taffy as a friend, surprisingly. She decided to stick with me, and I was really thankful for her being there. And then my feelings started coming back. I talked to her about it, and she understood why, because she was showing me attention, and it's something I didn't typically get from anybody else I ever liked. And she told me again that she didn't want anything like that, and I said, I know, it's just, it's just how it was. And it got to a point where my friend Bobby, after Taffy and Garrett broke up, was trying to get with her, and he kind of asked for a pic of her boobs, and she sent it, and he showed me, and I didn't tell her because I'd been friends with Bobby longer, and I didn't want to lose him as a friend, so I kept my mouth shut. And she ended up finding out about me seeing the picture, and she got all pissed at me. And she pretty much told me she never cared about me, and she was just saying that stuff because she didn't want me to hurt myself. And she pretty much threw me out of her life for good. And it was at this point where I skipped over a lot of things, but it's because I don't really want to talk about a lot of the times when I tried to take my life. It's not fun for me to talk about. But this was about the 4th time I tried, and it was the only time outside of my house that I tried it. Well, okay, the only time where I was at some other place and tried it. Technically, I did kind of think about staying in the road and getting hit by a car once. And, yeah, I had a pocket knife with me, and when I thought everyone had fallen asleep, I pulled it out at my friend's house and started going up my wrist. Where the fuck's that? I have a cut right here. It's not very deep, it's not very big, but it's scarred up, and my friend kind of caught me right before I hit my vein and started dragging down, and it shocked me that he was able to hear me going through pain like this, and that he was deciding to stick by me. And for the longest time, I said I was happy, and I wasn't. I was still really depressed. I wasn't seeing my dad as much as I'd like to. I hated going to school because it reminded me of all the pain I've been through, and every girl I tried getting with, every girl I liked, even the slightest, had no interest in me at all, or would fuck me over. 9th grade, I liked a girl, and we talked about maybe hanging out at lunch to get to know each other, and she eventually said, you know what? No. That was with Taffy, never mind. That was supposed to be with, not Taffy, some other girl that I liked. But in 9th grade, I asked a friend of my cousin's out because I really liked her, and I thought she liked me. And I told a few friends that I might be going out with her because we were thinking about going to movies. And, other people missed out on the word might and kept telling everyone that I had a date with her. And she kind of heard about it, and instead of telling me to my face or over Facebook, she decides to say, while sitting at the table next to mine at lunch, deciding to talk about it and say how she's not going to go anywhere with me because I'm weird or something like that. I don't really remember what she said. I kind of blocked out a lot of high school, which is probably also why I hated going, because I never knew anything. I never paid attention. And yeah, so I kind of cussed her out on Facebook, and she talked to me, and I still don't talk to her. I still can't stand her. It was at this kind of point where I realized, holy shit, I really don't matter to people. My friends barely talk to me. My fucking family, most of them hated me. And I started really feeling like cutting and hurting myself and killing myself a lot more. But in 10th grade, I did find somebody that actually made me kind of happy. Dated her for about a week, and her friend and her talked right before one of our classes, saying how her friend said she didn't think we were going to last a week, and she dumped me the first week of dating. Sorry, I didn't think we were gonna last 2 weeks. I did end up talking to her again and becoming friends with her in 11th grade, but it was never the same. It was all weird. And she kind of left me for one of my friends, and it got really difficult, and I was getting closer and closer. And then the first family member found out, my cousin Kyle, who I could trust with anything. I texted him saying I felt like hurting myself. I felt like killing myself because I didn't feel useful anymore. I felt like I was just kind of a person in everyone's life, someone that would be replaced eventually anyway. And to this day, that's why he's still one of my best friends, no matter what shit we go through, because he's helped pull me back more than anybody else. Along with my friend Bobby, and him and my friend Bobby were the two people who helped me the most throughout my entire depression. And yeah, I'm sorry. I tried making it through this without crying, but it's just so difficult to talk about. And okay, I'm good. 10th grade was also when my brother graduated from high school and was officially moving away. He wasn't going to be at the house anymore, and knowing he was probably the only person I'd ever be able to go to if I absolutely needed it. He was the person who helped keep me strong when I absolutely needed it. If I really needed someone in the family right there to go to, it was him. He always helped me through panic attacks and all this other stuff. And leading up to his open house, I had a panic attack the night before. He called me, we talked, and I realized my brother was leaving. I always say I hate him, but he's one of the best friends I've ever had. I love my brother so much. And we've been assholes to each other our whole lives. I had a panic attack the night before his open house and then during his open house. And I got caught in the panic attack at his open house, and it was really difficult because it was my uncle and my cousin who caught me. Then again, going to my uncle's truck to have a panic attack isn't the best thing. And yeah, so 10th grade was not an easy year for me, although junior year was harder. By the way, if you guys are wondering what started my depression, I really don't know. I've never really been able to pinpoint exactly when or what started it. It's just been kind of going. And it started and it still hasn't really stopped. But 11th grade was not an easy year for me. I failed my first class, mainly because a lot of stuff happened that year. If you guys don't remember, 11th grade for me was a tough year. I'm pretty sure I talked about it in one of my vlogs from a few months ago about my grandpa dying. I hadn't had a panic attack since my brother's open house. And as soon as I heard my grandpa died, I had 4 within the span of a few days. And it was the main reason I failed my class, because I couldn't focus. All I was thinking about was my grandpa. How, even though I disagreed with him on so many things and I was pretty sure he hated me, he was mad at me when he died, which made my depression just worse. I missed him. And it was so difficult to say goodbye to him. Holidays aren't the same anymore because he's not there. I remember every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every day I'd go over there, I'd always run up. The first thing I'd do is give him a hug. And now I can't do that. I can't go and give my grandpa a hug anymore. I really didn't think of how bad it was going to be for me until it hit Thanksgiving and Christmas that year. It really showed me just how difficult life was going to be without seeing my grandpa all the time. But I pretty much skipped out on most of that year. I couldn't focus. I missed a lot of days, and it was all because I just didn't want to be there. I couldn't be there anymore. I hated being at school because it just reminded me of how sad I was, and all these people were trying to be dicks to me all the time, and it just kept piling on to the shit I'd been taking so much my entire life. Throughout the rest of junior year, I pretty much went silent. I didn't talk to my friends. I barely talked to my family. I pretty much just went to school, came home, did homework if I had it. What the hell's on my phone right there? Sorry guys, oh, it's just a glare, okay. Did homework if I had it. And then played some video games and went to bed. That was pretty much it. I didn't do much else. And as you guys know, my senior year was me graduating early. And everyone tries to say it's because you're lazy and you don't want to do anything. It's for all these different reasons. Everyone tried to say, that's why you're graduating early. I graduated early because I was tired of school. Getting bullied and fucking screwed with and having to focus on all this work that's just stressing me out more and more, along with having to get ready for college and all this shit. I didn't think I'd be able to make it. So I decided to graduate early. And I was so fucking happy when I got out of that hellhole. And I was even happier because my first class of the day, well, after gym, was the class I happened to meet my girlfriend in. And yeah. But I got out of school and I was really happy. I asked Paige out after talking to her for a while on Facebook, and was really happy. She said yes, and as you guys know, I just celebrated my 7-month anniversary with her. But I still had depression. I felt like I didn't deserve the love that she was giving me. I didn't deserve a lot of things, and with her being depressed and suicidal, it didn't help. It just made me feel worse every time I got her upset, because I was worried about what she might do to herself, and then I was worried about I'm going to be the cause of this, and then I wanted to kill myself even more. And obviously me and her have been dealing with that for a while, and it's hard for both of us it's hard for me to stay strong. She's been strong for about 5 months now, and I'm really happy for her. She hasn't cut in 5 months. I almost had that, but I couldn't handle it anymore. But a few months ago, before my graduation, actually the day of my graduation, my aunt decided to talk a bunch of shit about me and my family and Paige. If you guys don't know, a lot of my family talks shit about my dad's side of the family because they hate my dad. Call my dad gay, my uncle's gay, me gay, and you know what? I snapped. Once my aunt said my girlfriend looked like a guy and had no tits, I was like, you know what? I'm fucking tired of this. I snapped on her and fucking cussed her out. Said, "You're not doing this. It's not tough love. You're just being a fucking bitch. So why don't you shut your fucking mouth?" And I cussed her out for probably about 20 minutes and went back in my room and just sat down. I didn't want to talk. That was it. That's the main reason I didn't go to my cousin Matt's open house. That's why I'm not celebrating my birthday with him this year. Because I don't want to see her. Because if I do, I'm going to cuss her out again. I still invited them to my open house, but none of them showed up. Mainly because they couldn't. But about a month or so ago, around when Central Intelligence came out, me and Paige got in a huge fight. And she was really pissed at me. So if you guys don't know pretty much what happened, I'm going to tell you guys about this fight, and it's going to kind of sound like I'm an asshole, because I am. But something happened, and I almost asked somebody for a picture of something. Some girl, some random stupid slut, for a picture of something, and I felt terrible, and I was going to hide it from Paige, but I just didn't feel right. I felt guilty, so I talked to her about it, and she got really mad at me after being mad at me earlier that week anyway, and, well, that's what ended up leading to it. I really needed her one night because I felt so terrible, and she was so pissed off at me. I was like, you know what? She's not going to want to care. She's not going to care anyway. She doesn't want to talk to me. She's still mad at me, and I ended up cutting myself again without even thinking about it. I couldn't stay strong for longer because it got to the point where I was losing my mind. I felt so bad about what I did to her, and I did not deserve love. I felt I deserved pain, and that's what I gave myself. I cut myself 3 times on my arm, and afterwards apologized to her for doing it because I felt so fucking bad for doing it. Because I'm supposed to call her or text her when I need her, and I did text her. I said I needed her, and she didn't answer the phone. She didn't answer. She said she didn't care, so I didn't call. I even asked her when we were fighting, what if I feel like hurting myself? What am I supposed to do? And she said, don't even try to do that. Don't even try to make me all sad and stuff. Don't do that. So I ended up saying, okay, she doesn't care anyway. And now I've gotten to a point where my depression still burdens me down. It still makes me hurt myself. It still makes me want to hurt myself. Not hurt myself, but it still makes me kind of self-destroy myself, I guess is the best way to put it. I know I can do great things. I know I should have a license. I know I could have gotten the test. I could have passed it. I didn't because I didn't want to be driving one day and have some suicidal thought like, hey, if you crash this, you might die. And then make me want to crash it so I can kill myself. I had dreams like that leading up to my test, and it freaked me out, so I decided to fail it on purpose. I kept saying it was because, I didn't learn this, or because I was nervous. I wasn't nervous anymore. By the time I got back from my vacation, I was no longer nervous about driving. I was 100% okay with going behind the wheel of a car again after backing up into somebody's car and my grandpa getting pissed at me a few years ago. But I was worried about what I might do to myself if I'm alone in the car and get a suicidal thought. Excuse me. So I failed. I made excuse after excuse of why I failed. And I'm finally happy to say the truth and talk to somebody about this, even if it's just a camera. Even if it's just for a bunch of people on YouTube to watch. And if you make fun of someone with depression, it's not fun. You gotta put yourself in their shoes and realize that what you're saying is gonna really hit them deep, even if it's just some small joke. I had people make jokes about me all my life, and you know what? I got to a point where I got tired of it. That's why I flipped out on my aunt, because I was tired of having jokes like that made about me. Depression's not a joke. I can tell you that right now. but the last 2 months I have been month-ish almost. I've been a lot happier than I was. I'm not 100% sure if I'm ready to deal with the stress of school again, because I wasn't really ready to deal with the stress of getting ready for college and doing all the stuff I needed to do for it. But I am at least somewhat happier right now, even if me and Paige still do fight. But if anybody else has gone through depression, trust me, you're not alone. Those thoughts will eventually be subsided by happiness. You just have to keep fighting. Take it from someone who's still battling, but is realizing there's a brighter side to life. See you guys.